Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here in the Overflow Room with a wonderful little box set, only a 3-disc box set, but it's one that belongs in every collection if you don't have these works. And that is the complete symphonies of Saint-Saëns, our good friend Camille Saint-Saëns. Most people don't even know that he wrote 5 symphonies. They know that the Organ Symphony is number 3, but there are 4 others, 2 of which are not numbered, and they are oh so worth hearing. They really are. Saint-Saëns was a genius, of course, and a tremendous child prodigy. He started writing symphonies when he was 15. And, the early symphonies, the earliest one anyway, is a charming work, kind of like the Bizet Symphony in C or the Gounod symphonies, in obviously correct classical form, full of the promise of early adolescence, shall we say. But then after that, he got into Symphony Number 1. And Symphony Number 1 is really an astonishing piece. It was only a couple of years later. And it's a wonderful piece of what you might call Empire French music, sort of like Empire French furniture, if you know what I mean. It's just charming. The finale is wonderful. It's wonderful. It has basically a military band in it. It's got sax horns, which were new at the time, and it has 4 harps, and it's a march. And it's wonderfully vulgar, and I mean vulgar in the best sense. It's completely without pretension. It's just a wonderful, heroic piece of writing. I'll play you a little bit of it. I'm going to play you the conclusion of it because it's just so cool. I just love it. Here is the finale of Symphony Number 1. Don't you just love it? It's just a great piece, a fantastic piece. And you really have to have 4 harps because they're playing with the orchestra fortissimo all the time and they're thwanging along. Oh, it's just great. So, who are these players? I've reviewed a couple of these already on ClassicsToday.com. So if you want to go look at those reviews, you can. I reviewed all of them except for the 3rd disc. But it's the Malmö Symphony Orchestra under Marc Soustrot. And Soustrot is a very, very fine conductor. There's French stuff. He's done some really good stuff in Malmö. And I just think this is a wonderful cycle. The competition is Jean Martinon on Warner. And Martinon, of course, is a staggeringly great conductor. And his performances were the reference editions and still are in many ways. But, of course, they're not as well recorded, nor are they as well played. And Soustrot's interpretations are not the same as Martinon. He has his own stuff to do with the music, which is quite successful. So you've heard a bit of Symphony Number 1. Now let's take a little bit of Symphony Number, well, it doesn't have a number. It's called Herb's Roma. Nobody knows why it's called Herb's Roma. It was written for a competition, and I don't know if it won or didn't win. I didn't pay attention to part of the story, but it's Saint-Saëns' largest and most serious symphony. It's a big piece, 40 minutes long, with a very, very seriously worked out theme and variations finale, and a really cool funeral march slow movement. Yes, Saint-Saëns wrote a funeral march. Usually everyone considers him sort of light and frippy, and well, he was in a lot of respects. I mean, his second symphony, for example, is in A minor, and it's sort of full of that French Mendelssohnian nervousness, à la française. You know what I mean? It's a very, very good piece, but it is, And so, if you want to hear the serious side of Saint-Saëns, you have to listen to Herb's Roma. And here is a bit of the funeral march, which he marks very, very serious. Yes, he does. Just in case there was any question about how we were going to take it, serious is the word of the day. Now, the symphony itself is actually an F major, so it's not a depressive piece at all. But this funeral march is very, very serious and very deeply moving. And who knew, right? So if you get this set, you will have an opportunity to play the whole symphony, and I think you'll find it very, very enjoyable. Also in this box are the 4 major tone poems, and they are, for the record, Le Rouet d'Omphale, that's Omphale's spinning wheel. La Jeunesse d'Hercule, the youth of Hercules. Danse Macabre, of course. And Phaéton. I love Phaéton. You know the story of Phaéton. Phaéton borrowed Jupiter's chariot, Apollo. Yeah, it was Apollo, sorry. Apollo's chariot of the sun. Yeah, Apollo was the sun god. Yeah, it's Apollo. And he goes off on a jaunt, and he gets dangerously close to the earth, which means the sun is about to scorch the place of all life. So Jupiter takes a look and sees what's going on, and he hurls a thunderbolt at Phaéton and zaps him, and down he goes. It's a wonderful tone poem that does exactly what the story promises. You know, there's a fanfare. He gets on the chariot of the sun, and off he goes with a ba-da-dum, 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 ba-da-dum rhythm, which runs through the entire piece until things start to get ominous with the soft strokes on the tam-tam. And then there's a fantastic thunderbolt with a roll of 4 timpanis, bass drum, cymbals, and tam-tam going crash. And down he goes. Here is that wonderful moment. just to sum it all up, this quick little review. This set, 3 wonderful discs on Naxos, the complete Saint-Saëns symphonies and tone poems. There is nothing not to love here. This is the most logical addition to your record collection to come along in quite a while. Because, oh, by the way, let me also add, the performance of the organ symphony is quite good. It's really very, very good. Now, it's not going to, efface memories of Munch or Paré or Ormandy or Barenboim or, any of the ones that are the high-powered Saint-Saëns organ symphony performances. But it's damn close. It's very fine and very well recorded. And I really think that this is a wonderful collector's edition. So if you are into the French orchestral music from the 19th century or Saint-Saëns generally, and don't have the Martinol set, or if you want a supplement to the Martinol set and better sound with a bit better orchestral playing, and they're just as perceptive, the performances are just as good, every bit as smart and intelligent and idiomatic, then get this, these Saint-Saëns symphonies. You won't be sorry. Keep on listening, folks. Thanks for joining me. Take care.